Boker Tov. Good morning on Yom Sheni, Monday, this glorious day in Boston. So in this week's Torah portion, we read about the angels visiting Abraham. And then God says, we all know the story about Sodom and Gomorrah, wicked people, morally depraved, killers, haters of guests, of kindness, of anything that was beyond themselves. And God decides that he's going to destroy Sodom. But before he does that, he says what? I just told Abraham he's the father of so many nations. And Avram, Oyavai, he's my beloved and I trust him. Should I not tell him? So God tells Abraham what's going to happen. And Abraham starts negotiating with God. He becomes the lawyer, the defender of the people in Sodom, to try to persuade, so to speak, Almighty God not to destroy the city. And from there we always joke that we've learned from Abraham to be the defender of others and negotiate for them in a positive way. That's why so many Jews are lawyers. So what does Abraham do? But if you look at the discussion, Abraham says, maybe there'll be 50 righteous people. There was 5 cities. So if there's 50 righteous people, that means there's 10 righteous people, a million of righteous people for each city. So Abraham says to God, you're going to destroy the righteous with the wicked too? Ha'af tispet tzaddik im rasha, are you going to destroy the righteous with the wicked? And then he goes on to negotiate for 40, to save 4 cities, 3 cities, 2 cities, until he realizes there's not even a million of righteous people to save 1 city. But the question is, why is Abraham praying for the righteous people? Did he think that God would destroy the righteous people? I understand if he prays for the wicked people of Sodom, that maybe they should be saved because of the righteous. But if you read the words, he says, will you destroy the righteous with the wicked? God would never destroy the righteous. So why did Abraham have to pray for them? And the Rebbe says something very powerful in one of his talks that really speaks to the times we're living in now, especially what we witnessed this past week. I still can't fathom what happened on Thursday in Amsterdam. But what was worse than what happened was, of course, all those that condoned it and said, it was because someone pulled down a flag or because fans were rowdy. Of course, now we all know that it was premeditated. From the beginning, it was planned. They have the WhatsApp groups and the images and the Uber taxi groups. It was all planned. Literally a pogrom on Jews. But what I can't fathom even more is how quiet the media has been. And they really didn't pick up on the story properly. And they tried to play it down. The media that constantly speaks about Israel and Gaza and dehumanizes the Jewish people tried to play this down. And when the Rebbe says it like this, you know why Abraham had to pray for the righteous people? Because the righteous people were righteous, but they didn't speak up against what was going on in Sodom. And because they didn't speak up, they could have been worthy to be punished. Although they themselves were righteous, they weren't persuaded by the evilness of Sodom. They didn't act wicked to their guests. They didn't kill or murder or torture people. But they also didn't condone it. They just turned their eye. So Abraham had to pray for them. Because even their own righteousness would have not have saved them alone when they didn't speak up against the viciousness of the people of Sodom and Gomorrah. And the same is true later, and we'll speak about it another day. We read the fascinating story about Lot and how Lot was being rescued by the angels, and they tell him not to look back, because Ulai, if you look back, you will be destroyed with them. And the question is, why would Lot be destroyed with them? And the answer is because sometimes you can be righteous enough but not righteous enough to be saved. Sometimes you can be righteous, but because you didn't speak up, you weren't a voice of clarity, of morality, you can't be saved. You can live in your cocoon. You can live in a place that allows you to believe in your ideas and to be safe from that which you don't like. But if you watch evil and you don't speak up, then God doesn't appreciate it, and you're not worthy sometimes of being saved. Yesterday I think it was yesterday, over the weekend, Israel uncovered thousands of hours, literally, of Hamas torturing their own people in Gaza. It's the most shocking images and videos of what they do, hanging them from the wall, from their hands and their feet, in bent positions for hours while they sit and they watch. Things that no human being would do to another human being, no matter who they were. But yet, the media doesn't speak about it. I checked today, it's been already 3 days. New York Times, BBC, CNN, you don't find it. But yet they find themselves to say that they're the protectors of the people of Gaza and they're worried about human rights. But then, when you see real atrocities and you see the people of Hamas torturing their own people, suddenly they're not there to protect them. We remember from the story of Abraham, Ha'af tispet tzaddik in Russia. Be a voice of moral clarity, even if maybe in your own circles, in your own party, in your own denomination, amongst your own friends, it's not popular. Speak up for our brothers and sisters in Israel, and speak up for what's right, and what's moral, and what's ethical. Because if you don't, God won't appreciate it. Have a great